What's up guys, welcome to the channel. On this episode, we are going to be diving into the DeLorean again. In the comment section in the past, you guys have been asking, how do we restore this car? How do we find parts for the car? You're cutting up a front fender and rear fender and all that stuff. Aren't that stuff super priceless and hard to find? A lot of people don't realize that DeLorean Motor Company is actually alive and well. They also have a lot of parts and a lot of information out there for the DeLoreans if you guys ever wanted to buy one of these cars. So we're gonna take a ride over to Texas and see what Stephen Wynn and the DeLorean Motor Company is all about and what they have cooking in the near future. We are at DeLorean Motor Company in Houston, Texas. As you can see behind me, this is the main facility where all the DeLoreans are being built. We're gonna go in and do a factory tour just to check out exactly what's going on with DeLorean in 2021 and beyond. All right guys, we're now in the showroom of DMC. This is the president and owner of DeLorean Motor Company. Steven, how you doing, buddy?
Hi, nice to meet you.
I don't know many presidents of any companies that would actually do this, but I was actually on Facebook selling a set of seats, and he showed up to actually pick up the seat for a customer on Facebook to ship it over to Switzerland. It just shows the passion and support that he has for these cars and what he's doing. So what we have here in the showroom, we have one of the nicest DeLoreans I've seen up and close.
It's a 15,000 mile, very original, very nice DeLorean. It was a previous Concours winner.
And then we have a chassis here. It looks like it's got some Kevlar pieces inside of it.
We've got a set of molds for when we go back into doing the replicas, and we've had the molds refurbished, and this is basically a plug that we pulled from the molds just to test the A surface. We did some of the honeycomb in here and then just added gel coating, just more as testers and trials to see for what we can do when we start doing the underbodies for the replica production.
So you guys are actually planning on bringing these back to market, right?
Yes, we are. Yeah, we've been very active with SEMA, with the replica law, and luckily enough, and now we are a go with the whole replica program, which says we can make up to 325 replicas per year. EV is a very strong option, but we haven't gone all the way yet to decide. Best case is that production will start in 2022.
So you heard it guys, 2022 you'll be able to buy a brand new DeLorean.
Don't hold me to that, you know, please, we're trying. Okay.
We'll flood Steve with emails. We want DeLoreans now. So this showroom is unbelievable, man. You have all the new parts. One thing I really wanted to emphasize to the viewers is if you do love DeLoreans, if you're ever into these cars, all the parts that you ever need are right here in DMC Houston. So they have an amazing website. They have an awesome new parts store where you can buy every single bit. This is an original chassis, right, for a DeLorean?
Yeah, that's an NOS chassis, yes. Similar to an Esprit, although the Esprit is mid-engine, and as we all know, DeLorean is rear engine.
Right.
So where our engine sits here, in the Esprit it sits here, so the Y is a slightly different configuration.
Let's see what the rest of the factory looks like. Yeah. So a lot of these bits that you have laying around are original from the original factory in Belfast.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Look at this. Holy mackerel, look at all the fenders. This is insane.
We generally have 40 or 50 cars at any given time in this building. Most of them are customer cars. We have plenty of restoration projects in.
People find these and just bring them to you to refurbish them, or are these?
Well, it's either original owners bring them, or we're seeing a lot of cars now where people are buying the cars and sending them in and having us go through them and bring them back up to spec. I never cut corners. I'll only do it right. You know, I'm not the guy to go to if you want to hack away at the car.
Right.
I try to do every car to the same standard, given that opportunity. If there's a budget constraint, we'll do the best we can with the budget that we're given, and then coach the customer along if they have to finish it off themselves.
And is there anything on the car from the original spec that you just don't use anymore?
Well, one of the big things is being the fuel pump. The original pump sat in the tank with a rubber boot in it,
right,
and the boot just gets eaten away with ethanol these days.
Okay.
Replacing all the hoses, putting a better radiator in. Nowadays we're putting better radiator fan motors, you know, and the list goes on and on and on. We don't do anything that you can never go back to stock on, and I don't do any engine swaps or conversions just because I keep everything stock and original.
That was gonna be my next question. Where are all the LS cars?
yeah. Not in here, and you won't see a carbureted DeLorean in my building either. We're fully committed to K right now.
Okay, so you keep the mechanical fuel injection system. Oh wow, look at that.
So fuel distributor, cold start injector, idle speed motor, frequency valve,
Wow.
control pressure regulator, you know, and then you've got the injectors at the end of the lines, you know, and this is all the latest spec. For us, it's not complicated because it's all we know. We don't
That's
know.
very, yeah.
You know, we're stuck in the 80s. When we sell cars, I don't sell project cars. As you can see, we pull them down, we gut the interior, and believe it or not, this is a 4,000-mile car.
Really?
Yeah. The interior, for some reason, was not in the greatest of shape, which was really unusual for such a low mile car, but it's a very honest car. Now we're just doing everything that I want to do to the car to make my specification.
So what else do we have? We got a ton of DeLoreans, man. This is like overload for me. This is my childhood rolled up in one conversation.
This is a 15,000-mile car. You know, sometimes the buyers, you know, if they want a performance engine or stage one, or if they want to do suspension kit, now is the time to do it, you know, because it saves them money because I'm doing so much anyway.
Yeah.
And then they just add their pieces on. You can see it's got the headers on it.
Oh yeah, look at that.
It's got our system, you know.
It's got some tubular headers. So
yeah.
do you do anything to the engine, like head work or anything like
Yeah,
that?
it's got head work, it's got modified camshafts, little tweaks to the fuel injection just to help it with the fuel flow. The stock engine is around about 110 at the wheels.
Oh my God.
Okay, and this will go up to about 145 at the wheels.
What's the curb weight of a DeLorean? Like what's
It's
the...
about 2,800 pounds.
Yeah, so that's a
the
light
power to
car.
weight, yeah, the power to weight isn't bad. All this does, we feel, is what they should have done when they were new. Gives them, you know, a nice mid-range power, obviously a nice sounding exhaust. So this is one of our exhaust systems. Stage 1, Stage 2 exhaust system.
I like how bendy it is. Real F1 looking. Oh,
So
that's a nice piece.
So again, I know you make exhaust. So this is all stainless. Each pipe is equal length to the collector. They're all 19 inches in length,
Nice.
which gives us nice torque. With an uneven fire, low output engine, all the torque you can get is a big difference. So I know a lot of the copies all have short straight pipes which don't do anything for torque.
Yeah.
You know, as you as a exhaust builder will know.
You sell that on the website, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
and they're US made. This is our area, part of the area where we do our rebuilding of fuel system. We'll set a fuel distributor on here and we'll monitor the flow.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Flow rates, the flow. We'll put it on here to flush and clean out injectors and test injectors. We do the same here where when we rebuild control pressure regulators. Over here, we generally use this area for sheet metal, but right now it's a staging area for the two cars that are getting done. All of the interior is being pulled off and it's all going to be dyed, so everything will be dyed to match, and then when it goes back, all of it will be the same, because you can see different panels here where they've aged and discolored,
Yeah.
and different materials, so they all change color at a different rate. So what we find the best way to do it is just pull it all out, have it all dyed, and then put it back in, and then that way it all matches the same. For the replicas, the whole A surface on the inside will be upgraded, you know, and it'll be leather, Alcantara,
Oh,
you know,
beautiful.
to be determined.
Yeah.
But it'll all be recovered and hand stitched and more bespoke than a production piece.
So this is the fuel door hood.
Yeah, that's right. Hood with a gas flash. The gas door tends to do this a little bit when you're driving. It was quite expensive for the factory to do this, and when they realized that they didn't have to do it, it was eliminated.
Yeah. It just seems interesting to me that you have to pop your hood in order to fuel your car.
People who have them don't like them. People who don't have them die for them. You know the deal.
Yeah,
You know?
I actually thought about getting one myself. So are these all cars in queue to get
Yeah,
fit, to get
yeah.
restored?
Yep.
How long typically does it take for a restoration?
It really depends. On my own cars that I buy and sell, we're up to about 140 hours per car.
Okay.
You know, so that's why it just takes so long for us to get cars through, and people's budgets are getting bigger and bigger, so we're doing more and more in depth. As the value of the cars keeps creeping up, it adds more to the budget that people are prepared to spend. We're hovering in the high 60s now.
That's pretty good.
For nicely done turnkey cars. The scary part of the market for me is the 20 to 30,000. I'm just amazed at the prices that people are paying. I understand it's the only way to get in. You know, you got to pay the price. I just find it, mad on the basket cases. You know,
When I found mine, I was looking for months and months and months, and I finally found one for what would be a pretty high price if it was any other car. But if you want a DeLorean that bad, if you want to get into this, I didn't want a fully restored car. I wanted to build it myself. So, you know, I had to pay to play, like Steven was saying. But these are beautiful. I'm just happy to see all these cars are coming back to life. That's one of the coolest things that I find about DeLorean Motor Company and what you guys are doing here, because without this facility and without what you're doing, then these cars would just go to the wayside and die.
I've always been passionate about the brand. I love the car, and I love what the people who made the car put together.
Look at this.
Yeah.
This just took my train of thought away.
Well, this area normally is a staging area for pictures, but it's also a staging area for shipping and receiving.
I see that.
You know, so you can see window lift mechanisms have just come in. They're all about to be packed and boxed. We've just opened them up, inspected them, and now we're about to get them ready for shipment.
This is insane. So those are all manual gearboxes?
They're all manuals, yeah.
And then you have left and right rears. Are these the original crates from the factory?
From Dunmurry, yes.
Wow. So if they were still in production, they would have been kept using these.
Yep.
The line workers would be pulling the parts off and building cars right off of those parts.
We have 1,000 doors in this building, and that's a third of them, and that's 200 feet of DeLorean doors.
Wow. Look at all those doors. So they stamped them and welded them together.
Yeah.
But they were solid stainless. Like when I got my car, I was pretty impressed. The inside and outside, all full stainless steel.
If we were to count every single item in this building, we've got about 4 million new DeLorean parts in here.
This is all new old stock though, or is it?
New old stock and new stock.
And new stock. All these doors though are new old stock.
Correct.
These are not brand new doors.
Yeah.
Are there plans to make
Well,
new parts?
we have to do left fenders, of course. Once we have internal demand, it will force us to do a lot more. These are actually sunshade louvers, you know, and it says DeLorean to Dunmurry, and it was shipped from, you know, Augsburg, West Germany.
Oh.
You know, and this is a 38-year-old cardboard box, original. You know, West Germany doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know, and that's history that we have in here.
Like I'm almost speechless right now because it's like being in a time capsule.
So you look at this here, and you can say, you know, it says Thorpe Brothers Rillet, and then that's in Wales, and DeLorean, June of 1981, and that's
Wow.
when the shipping crate was made. Yeah,
It's just crazy to me that you still have all of that stuff too. Oh wow, is that the original mold?
And these are the molds for the underbody. There's a top and a bottom. Over the past decade, I've had these completely refurbished, so they're ready to go. These came from Dunmurry.
Wow. Now I heard rumors that the original stampings for the fenders, doors, like all of the metal parts were like just thrown in the sea.
Yeah, well, they went into Bay of Galloway to form a reef, and believe it or not, now there's talk that they're actually saying that they're a hazard and they're having to be removed, and there's a possibility that once they come out that they could actually be refurbished. So
Really?
we'll see how that one goes.
Is that the original floor scrubber from?
No. But it's an antique.
Wow, look at all the hoods. Those are all the flat hoods.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you got some grooved ones.
Yeah.
So you're saying the grooved hoods are actually a lot more rare than the flat ones, right?
The only new hoods we have are the flat hoods. This is my area now. This is where I keep all my used parts, and
This is your playground?
Nobody gets to see this, so you're only going to flip the camera around quickly, and then that's it. Okay. Basically, everything that we take off cars gets put in a basket. And then it's brought over here 2 or 3 times a year. I go through all those baskets and I decide what's junk and what's not junk. I keep lots and lots of parts because, you know, what's bountiful today can be rare tomorrow. These are all things that have come off a car. You know, they'll just take off stuff, throw them in these baskets, and then I go through the baskets. We were talking about the fuel system before. That's not uncommon to see crap like that.
Yeah, I imagine very little gets thrown away here.
Yeah, we're in new parts now.
Okay, so these are brand new rearview mirrors?
Yep.
That's what blows me away about NOS parts sometimes. It looks like it was made yesterday, but this was made in 1982?
That would have been made in 1981, actually. Yeah.
81. Look at the gasket. The gasket that seals against the stainless looks brand new.
People that don't have this, you know, call NOS parts.
Yeah.
You know, saying, oh, don't put 40-year-old parts on it. But, you know, some of these 40-year-old parts are better than some of the new junk that are being made to a budget. You know, these were made to last, as you can see.
Now, I heard rumors you guys built an electric car. Is that here or no?
No, it's gone, actually. Google. We sold it to Google.
Oh, man. I was kind of hoping to see that. It's one thing to come here and see all the DeLoreans, but it's another thing to actually see and touch the the bins and the cases and the, you know, all the crates that actually was in the process when they were getting built originally.
When we bought all the inventory, we also got all of the technical spec and all the drawings, which is old school, which is all 2D flat drawings. But when we are going to reproduce stuff, you know, having those drawings and sample parts makes such a huge difference. All of their documentation was remarkably good. The team that John DeLorean put together in the day was the A-team. You know, 40 years ago, John DeLorean was the Elon Musk of today.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody that's anybody wanted to work for DeLorean. You know,
Yeah.
he was breaking the rules. He was doing this ethical sports car. You have to excuse the mess of my office. It's a working office. It's not a show office. But these are all of the drawings for every single part for the DeLorean. They're all in numerical sequence. They are flat drawings. You know, quite a lot of them we've scanned.
DeLorean Motor Company, letterhead. That's crazy, look at that. 1980. From here, they would just go to production as far as like, this is all the homework they did before they broke ground in Belfast. And then after that, then they...
But it's also ongoing, revisions, changes,
Okay.
before internet, before computers. You know, it's a godsend to us.
Where do you think that DeLorean would be without the movie?
It would just be, you know, another obscure car that came and went. You know, the visibility that the movie has done for the car is, and the brand is huge.
Yeah, I always wondered about that, because when I got my car, when I physically came face to face with it, I thought all I would see is the Back to the Future car.
You know, I've been around since, you know, since inception. So, you know, first decade of DeLorean, you know, was dealing with the shame of the bankruptcy and the drug deal and all the drug jokes and where's the coke and all like that.
Yeah.
And then the second decade was nobody thought it was a real car. They all thought it was a movie prop.
Yeah.
And I've had to deal with that. And then the third decade, it became the car. And as the car has matured, and now we're on to the fourth decade, you know, the car is the star, which is exactly where I want it to be.
Wow.
You
It
know?
only took 4 decades.
It took us 40 years for people to recognize that it's a cool car.
Well, you know for a fact that he's in it for the long haul then. I don't think anyone could be better for the job than you.
Time will tell.
So where can people go right now to see the latest and greatest news about the DeLorean coming out?
Obviously, DeLorean.com is for DeLorean Classic, and then newDeLorean.com is where we'll be posting the information about the replica project as that kicks off.
And there's not an official date released yet for the car.
No.
So yeah, guys, check out those 2 websites. And also, I'd like to thank DeLorean for giving us this factory tour on S2S TV. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that factory tour with the DeLorean Motor Company. As you can see, the car is gold. Well, we're gonna be hitting Art Basel next in Miami. If you know anything about the art world or what happens once a year in Miami, that entire city shuts down and it's just completely dedicated to art. So we Miami'd the heck out of this thing. We're gonna be heading there on the next episode with the DeLorean, and we also have plans to get this thing finally fired up and on the rollers for you guys. I know a lot of you are guessing how much horsepower this thing's gonna make with those Garrett turbos hanging out back. So stick around, because there's a lot of action next episode, and we might actually see this thing get some artistic touches that are gonna trump cutting up the fenders and all that stuff. So thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, we'll see you next time.